They said, fuck.
Bruh. All right, we're good. We're good. Woo! Ugh. All right. Let's go. All right. All right, I'm gonna try something. I've been taking a look at this different strategy I really like. I've been back testing it this weekend. I'm gonna try it out on these evaluation accounts. So, first step is wait for the first 5-minute candle to form, right? So we're about to have that first 5-minute candle form. Let's see that. Just a second. Okay. All right, first 5-minute candle just formed, right? So I'm gonna mark out the highs and lows of that first 5-minute candle. Boom. All right, there's the high. And then there's the low of that first 5-minute candle. I'm gonna drop to the 1-minute chart. Now, right? What I want kind of to happen is, right now we're closing outside of that first 5-minute candle. I want price to come back inside, and as it pushes back into this range to form a fair value gap, for us then to retrace back to that fair value gap for that low again. So pretty much looking for price to confirm that it wants to, continue going down. So we just took out that internal high right here. Let's see what happens. Starting to form kind of a fair value gap, but I would need price to kind of close back inside. Close back inside and form a fair value gap. So as of now, right? If you look, hold on just a second. Crap, I forgot something. Just a second. Crap, I forgot something. All right, my bad. All right, we're still pushing. So if you go on, let's go on the 15-minute time frame, see what's going on the 15-minute. Right? We're kind of in a bearish trend. We're still pretty bearish. Look at the freaking pre-market. We've been dropping all pre-market long. Could be retracing. There's a gap right here. We got a gap. We're tapping into a bearish gap. We've got another gap up there. So got a bunch of gaps that we'll see what market does. But pretty much pretty hard rejection. Yeah. I mean, we're pushing up. We're pushing up, but overall in pre-market, we're still very bearish. So as you could see, and we could just be retracing. Just because we're pushing up, right, doesn't really mean anything. Trading fun. I lost a 25K account. Can't trade anymore for a while. Yeah, I mean, just paper trade. You have a sim. Just paper trade. I think that would be or you know, just kind of do research and just try to consume more information. And but pretty much, right, I want price to, if we get back into this 5-minute range, we'll see what happens. I mean, man. All right. Appreciate the follow. Thank you. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. All right, we're starting to get some form of a rejection. Again, right? I want to see it close inside. While it closes inside, I need a bullish, kind of a fair value gap to form. It would be a bearish fair value gap to form to show me that it may want to go back down to this low. We got a gap right here, so especially if we inverse that gap. If we hold above this 5-minute, this 5-minute candle, we're pretty bullish. We could very likely hold above this level and continue shooting up, but like that first 5 minutes tells you a lot, right? The first 5 minutes of the morning typically has very, very high volume in that first 5 minutes, so it's gonna be a pretty big zone. All right, we're still kind of trying to hold up here. Did we tap into that second? Let me see. All right, we tapped into that first fair value gap. There is a second fair value gap up there. There's a second gap up there. Could it be going? It may be going to that second gap. We got view up there too. So not only do we have that second gap up there, but we got view up. Let me see. We're trying to see. That's the let's see. 23,213. 23,213. It very likely could reject off this second gap right here. Could reject off that second gap. We got VWAP up there, so got to be careful at that area. All right, we're starting to. What is this? Is there any free sites to practice trading? A lot of brokerages. A lot of brokerages allow you to do simulated trading. So, I mean, you could pretty much open up an account with like a brokerage like Ninja Trader, and they have simulated accounts where you could sim trade on them. And you can actually call Ninja Trader customer support, and you could talk to them about it. But today's the last day. There's like 14 hours left for Apex's 90% off sale, and then that 90% off goes away. So if you were thinking about getting an account with Apex, now is the time, because it's gonna go away soon. I mean, it'll probably go. To be honest with you, it'll probably go to 80%, but 90%. That's like one of the best sales we'll ever have. So. I literally bought some more accounts, yesterday? I paid $17. Paid $17 for those accounts. For one account. So I bought like 5 accounts and paid like $80 or something. And $85 activation fees, which is pretty crazy. Normally the activation fees when you pass an account is like $140. So $85 activation fee is really good. All right, we're still let's see. We're above that 9 EMA still. Kind of holding that 9 EMA. Got some gaps, some bullish gaps down here, but if we end up closing, let me see, let me mark out that gap. If we end up closing below that gap, it's not gonna look good. All right, we're overall still bearish. Just because we got this push up does not mean we're gonna just continue to rip up all day. You see how price is still holding this 9 EMA. So, still holding that 9 EMA, holding that support level down here, right? And the idea is if it can't hold this, right, 130 support level, and we start ripping back down, we got another kind of support level here, this gap right here. And if it can't hold that gap, if it starts inversing that gap, it could start getting ugly for the bulls. As of now, right, if we go back on the 15-minute time frame, right, you could see that we do still have some room to the upside, right? There's some room. Potentially, it could want to fill this gap up here. Potentially fill that gap. And that's kind of the last gap. There's another gap up there, but this gap is already above VWAP. So this gap, let me see, it's about to tap into it. So we're getting ready to fill that gap. News at 10. Is there news at 10? Dude, I have such a bad habit of forgetting to freaking check the news. We got, ISM, really big news event. So be careful at 10 a.m. Very big news event at 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing. And we had news at 9:45. Is it? Yeah, we had a little bit yellow folder, which is not a big impact, but yeah, red folder news at 10 a.m. So be careful. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, because that could get ugly if you're in a trade at 10 a.m. Alright. We barely filled that imbalance. Barely filled it. Cause see, we tapped into it. Or did we? Can't even tell. Hold on. I gotta look on. It doesn't look like we tapped into it. It looks like we just made a double top up here. This looks like a double top. Alright, let's see. Let's go back on the 1 minute, see what's going on. Alright, starting to get a retrace back. Kind of, my thing is, as long as we hold above that first 5 minute candle, if we're holding above it, in my eyes, we still could go up, right? So, once we start breaking back into this 5 minute range is when it starts getting really ugly for the bulls. Crazy how US markets open, everything calmed down. Yeah, we had it's a crazy sell-off, man. I was shocked. I logged in and I saw the market, this massive dump ever since what, not even 3 in the morning, pretty much ever since here, which is 1 in the morning. Ever since 1 in the morning, this thing's just been selling off. All right, we tapped into that imbalance. Think it's gonna go up? Possibly. I mean, right now, it looks like it's still right. It's moving up, but right, it's not confirming that it wants to continue going up. Like, there's no really change in structure, right? We're just getting a pull. We're just getting like kind of a move up, but there's no structure and then break of that structure to confirm another like trend change. Like I said, this could just be, I mean, we're just retracing back to view op. Remember, price loves to retrace back to view op. It's a thing that, you know, we have some imbalances up here that just got filled. We got view op up there. So we'll see what price does at view op. It could reject off view op, but you just got to be careful up here. If you are in a long, you got to be careful. My free sim on NinjaTrader expired. They want a deposit before continuing to use a simulation. I'm sure you can put like $5 to $10 into the account. I'm sure it's not like, you know, they probably have like a minimum amount you have to have in the account, which is like, I would ask them how much. If it's like $5 to $10, I would just put $5 to $10 in the account and then just continue sim trading. And then you can have that account open and just keep sim trading in it. All right, we're pushing up. This thing is swept 10 days of liquidity. Yeah, we're ripping. We're above VWAP now. There's a big rejection zone possibly up here. Where is it? 23,265. We got this, right? We got this old support possibly turning into new resistance. We got a pivot point. We got an imbalance. So, I mean, I think price is at least going to have a hard time getting through here. So either it could reject off of this area, or, right? Or if price can get through there, I mean, it's looking pretty bullish. We're above VWAP right now. So, like I said, we are pretty bullish. Yeah, we have a lot of imbalances to retrace to, so possibly freaking, hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna turn on AC. I think it's off. Oh man, freaking wondering why it's so freaking hot. I'm burning up. Forgot to turn my AC on in the office. Bruh. We're gonna reject 300, 500. Yeah, that's a big, like I said, yeah, that is a big level that possibly price could reject. Price could just be coming up to kind of fill these imbalances and see what happens there, but that is a big rejection area. I think it, at least if it doesn't reject there, it's gonna have trouble getting through that area at least. So we'll see. We're right above that view op area, so we're right above view op. And then, so my idea, right? We'll see what, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but possibly I would be interested in a long if we do kind of retrace back to this gap to take out this liquidity to potentially, you know, retrace back to this gap and then start kind of bouncing off the support level and kind of take out all this liquidity down here. We'll see. But I've been back testing, bro. I noticed this the other day. I was actually yesterday I was looking at this strategy, bro. This strategy was working so I didn't do crazy amount of back testing, but the past, like, let me tell you, the past 12 days, there was not one losing trade. I was like shocked. Either you didn't get a trade at all during that day, there was just no trade to take, or you didn't get any losing trade past 12 days. And the idea of it is, right, first 5 minutes, well, a lot of times what you'll see in the market happen, right? Like I said, the first 5 minutes, typically, right, we get the most volume in all pre-market the first 5 minutes. So that first 5 minute candle marking the highs and lows tells you a lot about the market. And what I've noticed, a lot of times when price pushes past that first 5 minute candle, it'll continue ripping up. Once, and here's the strategy that I typically look for. What I typically want to see in this strategy is price pushes up past that 5 minute candle, right? Or let's say hypothetically, first 5 minutes formed, right? Let's say price came down here, closed below that 5 minute candle, and then we got a rip back up, closed back into the range, and while closing back into the range, it formed a fair value gap. And what a lot of times I saw in the market was every time, not every time, but like a lot of times when it closed out of the range, closes back into the range, leaving a bullish gap, a lot of times it'll retrace back into that bullish gap to continue moving into that range and through that range to the top of that range to the next liquidity. Bruh, it was working so freaking good. I got so excited when I was backtesting that. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing works time and time again. Now, obviously, 12 days is not enough backtesting. You got to do months of backtesting for it to actually, but it was, within those 12 days, it was working very well. And days where it didn't work, like days where it just broke through the range like this, you just don't get a setup, so you don't even take really a trade. Now, that's why I'm kind of seeing, as long as we stay above this 5 minute range, in my eyes, we're pretty bullish as long as we stay above this range. So we can kind of retrace back into this range, tap off this range, because, right, there's a lot of volume down here that was traded first 5 minutes. So my idea is if we do get a push back down and we take out all this liquidity, bounce off this gap, and if it confirms going back up, it could go back up and bounce off this range again pretty heavy. Strong open, yeah. Oh, all right, where are we, man? What's it doing? We're still above that. Look at it. It's holding that 9 EMA so well. It's holding that 9 EMA very well. Let's see where we are on the 15-minute. We haven't quite tapped into that imbalance. I mean, right? It's coming up very close to tapping into that imbalance, but right now it's rejecting. So, when's that next 15-minute candle open? So, oh, we got news coming up. So be careful, be careful. We got red folder news in like 3 minutes. 3 minutes till some red folder news. So we'll see where that news comes out. It is gonna, well, we'll see, but to take out the lows, bro, that'd be crazy. If news pushes it, it could, right? See what it does. News could push this thing right back down. You never know. It's kind of interesting to see what happens. We got, what, 2 minutes left? 2 minutes left. So if you are in a trade, if you are in this trade, be very careful with managing risk. Appreciate the follow. Bro, what the flip, dude? Whatever. Alright. How much are you up to? I didn't take any trades yet. No trades yet. I mean, we haven't really got a setup. We've been just ranging to the upside. I mean, if I was looking for a long, right, the idea is to get a pullback to go long. I'm not going to try to go long all the way up here. It would be kind of dumb of me to go long way up there. All right. We got 30 seconds. 30 seconds left till news. $30, 15 seconds till news. Oh boy. Oh boy. The books are thinning out. Five seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. News. We're ripping. All right. 15-minute. I think we just filled that imbalance. All right. We just tapped into that imbalance. See what happens here. Does it have Does it have it to push it up? Fill that imbalance. Either we continue ripping up or we drop. Let's see. All right, we're above VWAP. We're bouncing off VWAP. VWAP is right there where that 9 EMA is. VWAP is right on top of that 9 EMA. So there's that pivot. Got to be careful here. Got to be careful. This could fake out. This is NQ futures. A lot of resistance up here. So if price gets through this, it's pretty I mean, it's very strong if it gets through this. There's a lot of resistance up here. So there's going to be some rejection, at least some rejection here, right? So patience, my friends, patience. You don't want to wait for price to come to you. Wait for it to come to you. Don't chase it. Chasing price is how you get wrecked. What do you expect here? So for me, as long as it stays, right, I would technically be looking for possibly a pullback. Possibly some kind of a pullback. For me to go long, I need a pullback. Right, price is pretty bullish now. I mean, we're still on the higher. People gotta understand, on the higher time frame, right? We've been dropping all morning long, so we'll see what this. We'll see what happens when this 15-minute candle closes. But like, right? Technically, for a long, I would like a pullback. We got a little gap down here too, so a pullback into that 5-minute opening range, possibly taking out all those lows and then confirming it wants to keep going up. That's the idea, right? But I'm not getting long up here, and I don't want to get short up there, right? So I want price to come to me. And then, right, there's a lot of volume down here. First 5-minute candle, a lot of volume traded in that first 5-minute candle. So technically when it comes down here, I'm expecting a lot of volume to come back into the market. And here's that retrace. So we just literally tapped into that gap. Patience can be hard. Yeah, it's hard. But you get wrecked enough times, trust me. You get wrecked enough times not being patient, and then it becomes a lot easier being patient when you get, you know, wrecked too many times. Over time, you just get more patient, and you just wait for what you want to see. So, look at that rejection. Remember, I literally said, be careful up here. There's going to be some form of rejection, right? It may not have a big rejection, but there's going to be some form of rejection here because we have a gap. There's a lot of resistance up here. So, price is going to have some form of trouble getting through here. So, we're getting that rejection. We've just filled that imbalance, tapped into that pivot point, filling that imbalance, rejecting off this old support level. Now we'll see what happens from here. This is kind of a key area. Right, it's just having retrace. It could if it closes back, if it closes above that 15-minute gap, I mean that's a crazy, I mean, to me that's a pretty bullish sign. But look at that rejection. Look at the wick on the 15-minute so far. So depending on how this 15-minute, if this 15-minute candle closes up here and leaves this bullish 15-minute gap, it's pretty, you know, to me that's pretty bullish. It's kind of changing its structure to continue possibly going up. Bro, when are we switching contracts over? It's almost September. Don't these contracts expire? Yeah, these contracts, we should be rolling over contracts very soon here. It's literally September. These contracts expire this month. So I usually get a notification when I log on and it's time. It asks me, do I want to roll over contracts? And the closer we get to that expiration, people are going to start switching over to the new contracts, and then the volume on these contracts is going to start to kind of slow down, die down. So, all right, what's it going to do here? What time frame? Well, I look at multiple time frames. This is the 1-minute chart, but I look at the 5-minute, the 15-minute. So you got to look at multiple time frames to see what's going on. Right? If you look at the 5-minute chart, right? What do you notice on the 5-minute? Look at all these bullish gaps left on the 5-minute chart, right? And we got a structure change. We do have a structure change. Look what price did here. Formed a structure, took out this low, and then broke through this structure. So kind of in this area, it could possibly come back down to fill these bullish gaps before thinking about moving up. And I like that there's a bullish gap here too. This is the last bullish, down here is the last bullish gap. So last bullish gap paired with that 5-minute candle, right? That first, here on the 5-minute chart, I have that first 5-minute candle marked out. So a lot of volume traded here. So technically my idea is if price can come back down and it can fill this bullish gap, look at all this support down here. Just like, remember, just like I said, rejection, there's going to be a lot of rejection in this area, and look what's happening. I think there should be a lot of support down here too. Right? We got this old resistance level, broke through. Somebody want to say market structure shift, whatever you want to call it. Old resistance. Now this turns into new support, right? This now turns into support. We have a bullish gap here. We have that 5-minute range, so a lot of buying pressure could step in down at this area if we can get down there, right? Idea is I need price to come to me. I'm not trying to, you know, trying to predict, oh, I'm gonna buy up here, I'm gonna sell up here. I'm waiting for price to retrace and give me a good setup to go, possibly go long. I mean, we'll see what price does. I mean, I want it to come down, personally. I do. We're below that view op. We're just broke view op to the downside, so we'll see. Oh, come on, NASDAQ. All right, I'll be back. Give me a second. I'll be back in like less than a minute. No, go up. Right, price likes to retrace and then kind of rebalance itself, right? Where price is not going to just continue to go up in one direction. You're going to have some form of a retrace, right? The higher price pushes up, the less buying pressure typically comes in, right? Because people, right, what happens? People are starting to take profits, people start to exit their trades, and so the less buying pressure, and then sellers start to take over because now sellers are kind of jumping in at these kind of areas. So now you have more selling pressure coming in than buying pressure. So then, boom, we start to get that retrace up until buyers start to step in heavy again, and then it starts to move up. So, bro, I call it. Oh my gosh, I called that perfectly. Come on, man. Look at that rejection off that. Called that rejection perfectly. Said there's going to be rejection in this area. Some form of rejection. Most likely. I mean, nothing's 100%, but high probability. We're below that. We're right. See, and notice, I started to look at this 9 EMA. Look at this 9 EMA. Now we're starting to trend below that 9 EMA. Now, right, we were holding that 9 EMA as support. Now we're kind of holding that 9 EMA as resistance. We'll see. We have this gap, right? Here's one gap. Let me go back on the 5-minute. Probably bouncing off a 5-minute gap. Yeah, we got that 5-minute gap right here. It's bouncing off of. Got another 5-minute gap there, and then another one down here. Like, realistically, right, for the best possible entry trade I could possibly take, for me, is down in this 5-minute gap paired with this support, right? That would be the ideal trade for me right now, as of it sits right now. I'm gonna be patient. If I get it, I get it. If not, I'm not gonna try to, you know, try to jump in up here, possibly jump in and then get stopped out. Is this M1? Yeah, this is a 1-minute chart. I'm switching between the 1-minute, the 5-minute, the 15-minute. So this right now, yeah, is the 1-minute chart. Put 50 shares into open last night. I'm starting, and now it's Up. 50 shares short or 50 shares long? Starting to bounce off that gap, but we'll see. It's bouncing off that. There's a 200. Oh, short. Dang. Wow, you got a good move. You had a good move. I would, yeah, manage your risk just in case this thing starts to rip all the way back to the upside. Manage your profits, I mean. Alright, what's it gonna do here? What's it gonna do? Are we gonna start breaking through this high, or are we gonna hold this as resistance now? We had this kind of structure, right? This is kind of a crucial area to see if either price taps into this gap and starts ripping through that high, or it holds this as resistance. This old structure here holds it as resistance, and if it starts breaking through that low, we're going lower. And there's that rejection. Pretty heavy. Holy crap. Pretty heavy rejection. This is Ninja Trader. I'm on Ninja Trader, but I'm trading Apex accounts, and I have some take profit accounts. So I'm trading multiple prop firm accounts. So when you're looking at this, what are you hoping for? I'm waiting for price to come down. So if you look on the, for example, if you look on the 5-minute chart, right? If I want to think about taking an entry long, right? I don't want to take an entry long up here because we've already pushed up so high. For me to get the best possible entry long, I need price to kind of get a retrace back into an area. Just like earlier I said, we could get a heavy rejection off here. How did I know that we could get a heavy rejection off this area right there? So if you look on the 15-minute time frame, right? We got this old support level. Now is going to turn into new resistance when it pushes up there. It's also paired with a pivot point. It's also paired with a gap, right? So imbalance. So you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 different things going up here that could stop price from going higher. So same thing down here. What I'm looking for. Same thing. We got this area. We got this structure down here. So kind of old resistance. Now if we kind of drop back here, we got that 5-minute opening range where we know the first 5 minutes a lot of volume steps in. So down here a lot of volume stepped into the market. As you see, look at that rip up. So when it pushes back down here, my theory is we have a gap down here, right? We have the same structure down here. We have a pivot down here. So it's kind of same thing is going on down here as was going on up here when we got that rejection. So when we get that pullback into that pivot, we have an imbalance here. We have a structure here. So my idea is I'm waiting for price to come down, fill that imbalance, structure, and then kind of confirm it wants to keep going up. And then once it confirms and wants to keep going up, I can take my scalp for like a high probability setup. That's what I'm kind of, and you can see it better on the 5-minute. That was the 15-minute. Look at the 5-minute chart, right? We got structure, imbalance, we got a pivot point, we got the 5-minute range, a lot of support down here. So waiting for price to kind of come to me. I don't want to chase price, because what ends up happening, you chase price and you're like, oh, I want to enter down here, right? I want to enter down here possibly for a long, and then you get very impatient. You end up entering up here because you're not patient. Price ends up stopping you out. Then you enter long here. Price ends up stopping you out. And then you finally enter here and you get that winning trade. But you don't make any money because all you're doing is making back money because you were impatient from the losing trades. That's the hard part about trading, trying to stay away from low quality setups. And not jumping in just because price is moving up. I mean, if it's your strategy, right? That's awesome. Then take it. But if it's not your strategy, if it's not what you're looking for, I smacked that reversal. Nice, nice. Yeah, that was a good. I mean, that reversal was, if you took the for example, the 50% of that gap. Let's see. Let's see, 15-minute chart. If you took the 50, how much points was that? If you took the, let's say 50% of that gap, it literally tapped, look, it tapped perfectly into that like 50% of that gap. So you would have got the perfect like entry for that 50% mark. And that was a what? Let's say that was, boom, we had 60, let me actually, all right, you had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, right? You had a 90, almost 100-point move. You had like a 90-point move from the top. 90 points from that rejection area. Just pretty crazy. That's plenty profits. So, right, price right now is kind of in a weird area. We're at that view up, and a lot of times at that view up we get that sideways movement, so kind of sucks that we're here, but right, we're kind of showing some support off this gap, this imbalance here, showing some support off that imbalance, but right, I want lower. Personally, I want lower. For me, I mean, I don't care if this thing can continue going up, but for me, for me to take an entry, I need lower. I need a better risk to reward. And if you're kind of jumping up, if you're kind of jumping in here long, right? If it's your strategy, right? By all means, continue to trade your strategy. But right, you're buying at the top in essence. You're buying at the top. And it's a little bit more risky. Like, could it work out? Yes, we could start breaking through this high, but it's a little more risky because we're literally at a top. You know, we did have a little bit of a retrace, but for me personally, I would want a bigger retrace, just to get it high probability, right? It becomes a way higher probability when we get a deeper retrace, and then look how much more profit you have on the table when you get a big pullback. Just more profit on the potential profit versus this little scalp up here. That becomes kind of a lower probability. Because obviously you know there's going to be a lot of resistance up here. So you could get just caught up in this kind of chop sideways. So that's the thing you got to be careful with. View up area, you got to be very careful with the view up area, because bulls and bears, there are areas in the market where you can go long and lose money, and you can go short and lose money. Like areas like right near view up, when price chops sideways, right? You can have people that go long get stopped out, and then if you go short, you get stopped out because it's just moving sideways. Now we are above view up, so. But if you are thinking about getting an Apex account, it's literally the last, we got like 13 hours left for that 90% off sale, and then that 90% off sale goes away. So if you were thinking about getting some Apex accounts, now there's not going to be a better time. So, Eric. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm in my office. Finally back in my office. I'm so happy to be back in my office. Freaking Comcast. I was out of the office for, what, the past 3 days of trading? Because freaking Comcast decides to do maintenance. Like, bruh. Like, that kind of crap pisses me off. Like, you can't do maintenance during the weekend when people aren't, like, working. They gotta do maintenance in the middle of a work day. And then they're cutting off internet. I'm like, bro, I can't be at the office when you guys are randomly doing maintenance and cutting the internet off. Like, bro, I'm gonna be in a trade. They're gonna cut the internet, and then I'm gonna be stuck in that trade. Like, bro, you can't do this on a weekend. I know why they don't want to do it on the weekend, because they don't want to pay the workers overtime. That's why. So they're trying to do it on a work day. But then I'm the one who has to suffer on a work day because, bruh. Oh, I'm telling you, I was like, bruh, if they do this one more time, I'm switching. I'm switching from Comcast to something else. Because this is like, they've done this multiple times already. And it usually doesn't last for one day. It goes on for like 3 days. Well, what's the activation fee on Apex? Right now, it's $85 activation fee. So it's like $17 for an account, and then once you pass the account, activation fee is 85 bucks. Do you have fiber? I don't think so. I don't think we have fiber here. They put fiber in my neighborhood, but here, I don't think so. Switch to Quantum. Is it good? Yeah, I gotta look in. I'm telling you, one more time they do that, I'm switching. Because this, like, it seriously pisses me off. Because, like, what are businesses supposed to do if I don't have any internet? Last time I called, they gave me some money back. But, bro, like, I don't need money back. Just stop cutting the internet. It's good because it doesn't randomly cut off, rarely needs maintenance. The maintenance part is good. Like, in terms of, like, cutting off service, Comcast is pretty good. Like, they don't really cut service off. Like, I don't have randomly where my service, like, they warn you, but still, like, the maintenance is the worst part. Like, you guys are the biggest, like, one of the biggest internet providers in the nation. And you guys are still doing, they don't call it maintenance, they call it enhancement. We are enhancing your network. Like, bro, enhance it on a freaking weekend. Stop doing this enhancements during work days. You know, typically if you threaten, I think I've had this happen before, where if you threaten to switch, they'll a lot of times they'll actually give you a discount. If you're like, I'm switching internet provider and you're calling to like cancel, a lot of times they'll try to keep you and they'll give you a discount. So that's a little bit of a. This is NQ Futures. What does it mean when you pass an Apex account? So Apex, right now, Apex is 90% off. It's a prop firm. So the way it works is you buy an evaluation, you have a certain profit target and a certain drawdown. You reach that profit target, following the rules, you pass the account, and then, so you pay, right now it's 90% off, so it's 17 bucks for one account. You can copy trade multiple accounts, but you pass an account, then you get put in what's called a PA account. It's a funded account, and then once you get into that funded account and reach a certain profit target, be above a certain buffer zone, you're able to take withdrawals. So the money you make, you can start taking withdrawals on that. And there's like, so the account is 17 bucks, and right now the activation fee is $85. Typically the activation fee is 140 bucks. So I can, let me pull something up real quick. They had sent me the email of everything, where is it? Oh. All right, Apex, 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 Apex. All right, yeah. Oh wait, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I'm trying to find the... Alright, 90% off any size evaluation account for the first month. 80% off. So right now, if you get an account, 90% off any size evaluation account for the first month, and then 80% off every reoccurring month. So if you don't pass within the first month and you have to, the subscription renews for the next month, it renews at 80% off. So lifetime PA fees only 85 bucks. So yeah. I'm trying to figure out all PA fee discounts also end Tuesday. So it ends today actually. Though the PA fees discount ends today. But the accounts, the 90% off, if you buy it today, you have that. That's how I end up getting a bunch of accounts, because I wait for these like sales to go on. Like yesterday I bought 5 more evaluation accounts with Apex. So if I pass these, I bought 5 evaluation with Apex and then 2 with Take Profit Trader. And then I'll have 17 funded accounts if I pass these. Bro, it did not give me the pullback I wanted. Freaking A. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. So it bounced off that first. Man, I wanted a deeper... It tapped into both these gaps, right? So you could see what price pulled back and filled both these imbalances to the... But I wanted this last imbalance to get filled. Not looking like I'm getting it, but still, we'll see. Tapped into this first one, and then it literally wicked, right? This candle tapped into this second one, like perfectly. So, and then bounced right off it. Right now it's chopping sideways. I mean, you don't really know. It's a very weird area. This is an area where I recommend staying out of the market. Even though we are getting these bounces, like, look at this. You do not... Last thing you want to be is chopped in sideways action like this. Is when you enter a trade and... unless you're somebody taking quick scalps, right? If you're taking quick scalps to, like, these internal highs, that's different. But if you're looking for some big move, it could go... I mean, it's just... Man, I hate being caught in stuff like this. Because, right, I like get anxiety. I'm sitting in a trade and this freaking thing is just going sideways. Like, I preferably want to get into a trade and get out of the trade. Right? So this is kind of a weird area. Oh, crap. I have to... TikTok's making me solve a puzzle. We have detected inactivity during your current live. Please complete the verification to show you're not a moron robot. Oh crap. Why am I getting an error for... Oh boy. Oh, let me do this real quick. TikTok's making me do some puzzles to prove that I'm not a robot. Oh my gosh. Is it seriously doing this right now? Ah, oh, freaking A. What is it doing? Bruh. It's not. It keeps saying error. This is some straight BS. Ugh, TikTok, fix your freaking crap. $1 billion company, and they can't get something simple like this figured out. Right, it's not loading. It keeps saying error. Oh, God. It's just so dumb. Just keeps loading. I may get kicked off this live. I may get kicked off because it's not allowing me to do the puzzle, and I have like 2 minutes left, and it just keeps loading. God. It's just so dumb, dude. This is so freaking stupid. TikTok! You suck! If I do get kicked off, I'll probably jump back on. I'll jump back on. I don't know why it's being stupid. It's just loading. It keeps saying error. I don't know. I literally have like 2 minutes left. If I don't do this in 2 minutes, it's gonna kick me off. Some straight BS. Alright, I did it. Bruh. This is so dumb. It just kept loading. I did the first puzzle and it said error. Finally, I did it. Alright. Bruh, this is wild. You win anything? Hey! Do I look like an unk to you? No, I'm not, No, I was waiting for a bigger pullback. Bruh. It's Monday. Or, sorry, it's not Monday. It's Tuesday, so... It's not giving me the freaking setup. It bounced off the first 2 minute, It bounced off these first bullish gaps. I was waiting for this last bullish gap here. There's a lot of support down here, so I was waiting for price to come down here to get long. But it ended up bouncing off the first two. It's alright. I'm still waiting. Maybe it still gives me a setup. But if not, I'm gonna be patient. I'm not jumping into something just to jump into it. Unk. I actually am an unk, but that's not the point. Paper trading gold as we speak. Nice. Yeah, gold is pretty good. Some people, I know some traders trade gold. They say it's pretty good. Market was good about 8 a.m. with that downtrend. Made my 500 and out for the day. That's all it is. You take one. That's all it takes. Wait for one high probability setup and be done. Instead of taking a bunch of low quality setups, That's why I said, that's why I'm waiting for this trade. Like, one good high quality setup is all it takes. Technically speaking, you can take one high quality setup a week, and that's all it technically takes. Because if you have 7 accounts, think about it. If you have 7 funded accounts and you are patient for a good quality setup, and you take you take like, you know, a $500 profit on 7 accounts, bro, that's a crazy. Even you take one trade a week, that's crazy. You know, that's what, that's $3,500 for one trade per week. And that's just if you take one trade. If you take multiple trades a week, ends up being, you know, $6,000, $10,000. But most people aren't patient, right? They don't wait for price to come to them. They want to chase price. Like, there are people right now chasing price to the upside, and they're getting stopped out right now because of this pullback. Because typically people want to have tight stops, right, to manage their risk. Oh, you went long right there? You went long right here to try to go for these highs? What happened? Oh, you get stopped out. Yeah, you gotta have a strategy, and you gotta wait. You gotta have a plan and wait for price to come to you. That's why, like, although you can call out these trades, right? Although, like, anyone who was in the live earlier, you heard me call out that we're gonna have some form of rejection up here, right? Doesn't mean I'm gonna take the trade, but, right, I knew that we're gonna have some form of a rejection here, right? And I kind of figured we could have some sort of a bounce here, but I'm waiting for a better entry for it to come back down to this imbalance, kind of this structure down here. Because if you look, right, it bounced off that, literally tapped into that 15-minute imbalance. You got a couple imbalances on the 5-minute chart there, so it filled those imbalances. Got a decent leg up. You could have scalped this right here, but, you know, I'm waiting obviously for, if I wait for an entry down here, look at the profit I get. Look at the potential risk to reward on this trade. If you have, you know, a tight stop down here, and then you're going for it to go back up, all the way back up there. So it is what it is. We're kind of chopping view up here. Chop fest. Trump is speaking today? I don't think so. Is he? Let me check. Right, y'all heard the news that some people said Trump passed away? Because they didn't see Trump. Bro, there's so much, like, huh? Oh, man. Oh, somebody came. Give me a second. Trump. Yeah, Trump is speaking today. Trump is talking at 2 o'clock. After his golf session. Yeah, he hasn't been seen. That was the thing. People haven't saw him for like a couple days or whatever since Thursday. And then everyone started freaking out because they're thinking like, oh, he passed away, this, that. And the other thing is people are like, oh, he hasn't played golf in 13 days. That's his record of not playing golf. Something's wrong with him. Like, bruh, I mean, I understand people start to get... I wonder if that would have messed up the markets. Like, if he wouldn't have made himself known today, would that have screwed up the markets today? What if you bought right now and it bounced back to the top? Would that be bad? Or no, I wouldn't buy right now. This is not, I mean, we already had that tap. Like, if you wanted to get long up here, right? The ideal long would be, if you look on the 15-minute time frame, we got a pullback into that imbalance, right? Right, we had a rejection, and then what did price do? It pulled back. It pulled back into this imbalance, and you can see what happened. It wicked into this imbalance, and then we got that leg up. But as of now, it's already filled this imbalance. We have another imbalance down here. The fact that it's already filled that imbalance, I would not be trying to go long. If it, look, it's starting to break. We're getting a big rejection candle. That's why I said you got to stay out of this kind of, like, buying up here is dangerous. You want price to come to you for you to go long. You want to retrace. Me personally, I would want a deeper retrace, possibly into somewhere in this area. We got, let me actually mark out, did I mark out? Oh, I did mark out that imbalance. We have a 5-minute. Let me look on 5 and 15 just in case. All right, we have that. Let's see. Yeah, it's there's a 5-minute imbalance right there, and then a 15-minute imbalance. 15-minute imbalance too. Let me actually mark out the 15-minute just in case, like this. And then that's wait, right? Oh, no. What am I doing? Crap, what am I doing? Crap, I just marked that out wrong. There's the 5-minute. Right? Yeah, there's the 5-minute. And then the 15-minute is up here. It's like right at the beginning of that. I'm not gonna mark that 15 minutes right in front of the 5-minute, so let's see what happens. I'll try to take a light size and see possibly if we can get a quick scalp off this imbalance. Maybe. There's a pivot point there. There's just a lot going on right there. Bro, this... I hate that it's all the way out there. Hold on. I don't know why that bothers me. Why did I drag it out all the way over there? Alright, that's better. Alright, we got some structure, so if I do take it long, I gotta be careful with this structure here. Oh, yeah. Woo! Just got touched by NQ and lost my XFA. Oh man, it's all right. Just try to figure out what you were doing wrong. If you're managing risk incorrectly, if you're too heavily sized in, maybe you're taking bad trades. Just try to figure out what you were doing wrong and try to fix that for the next time. Like, your goal in trading is to continue to get better, right? This is why you got to pay attention and take like a specific strategy, because you want to be able to improve. You do not want to be able to just, like, you know, keep doing the same thing over and over and making the same mistakes over and over again. All right, I'll probably take a quick scalp. I'm trying to calculate my risk. If I do the 50% mark, it would be All right, let's see this. Possibly. See if I can catch a quick scalp. It's gonna be a little bit. Been into trading for 4 years. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes a while. As long as you figure out what you're doing wrong and keep improving, that's all that matters. But if you don't never improve, then you're just gonna be stuck at the same area for years upon years. Still shorting? No. Trying to see if I can get a bounce off of here. We'll see. Going in very light size, but if I can get an entry. This is Ninja Trader. Ugh. You only want to trade? Yeah, I only trade NQ. I don't trade anything else. See what happens. If we can get this possible. Maybe, maybe not. Think it's gonna hit? Yeah, I'm going in light size. This is a not specifically the strategy I typically look for in the day, but I don't mind this kind of. I don't mind putting on the risk. That's the thing. It's like when you take a trade, you got to be okay with putting the risk on the table. Don't tell me you're gonna give me the bounce right before it. I'm fine with putting the risk on the table, so. In the short? Yeah, we got this. I think this could be a bounce area. This could be you know, a pretty high area where we could bounce. That's why I'm kind of going for patience is what makes great traders. Others would be shorting into their fair value gaps. Yeah. It's very close though. It's very close. Come on.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Come on. Probably a reaction off the 15-minute. Yeah. There's a. Is it reacting right now off the 15-minute? I think it is. That 15 minutes right above that 5-minute. Yeah, we literally tapped perfectly into that 15 minute. And now we're starting to get... I'm looking for a little bit deeper, though. I'm looking into the 5 minute. That's why we're getting that bounce right here, is because of that 15 minute gap. But hopefully we can get a little bit deeper into that 5 minute for me to take. But looks like that was the best. I'm gonna have a pretty tight stop here if I do enter, right? Because if it gets back into this 5 minute range, we could go for those lows. So I do not want to be stuck in this trade if it wants to go for those lows. So the risk to reward, this is why I'm willing to take it, because the risk to reward is pretty good on this trade. So right, it would be kind of like I would have my stop down here, kind of below these lows here. So I'd be risking what, 10, 20, 30. I'd be risking 40 points to make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, about 60 points. 60, 70 points. So not a bad risk to reward if it gives it to me. Structure still bearish. Yeah, it's still bearish, but I would be looking for a scalp. I would be looking for a scalp into this resistance here, into like this area here. And it looks like it's bouncing off the 15 minute gap. But yeah, the structure still I mean it's bearish, but I wouldn't be looking for a crazy move back up. Yeah, there had two. I didn't mark out that first. I guess I can mark out, but whatever. Yeah, we had those two. We had a 15 minute right on top of the 5 minute. So obviously for a better entry, I wanted the 5 minute. It just gives me a better entry, but the 5 minutes so close to it that I figured it could possibly, you know, tap into that 5 minute first before going up, which it still can do. We'll see. But there's a lot of volume here that should kind of, my idea is a lot of volume could step into the market. A lot of support down here, I mean. Oh, come on. What time is it? It's already 11. I gotta hop off soon. I gotta go. Not giving me what I want. You gonna do me like that, NASDAQ? You gonna do me like that? Bruh. Baby, come back to me. I was wrong. Appreciate the likes. Thank you. Still holding the short. You're still holding the short? Dang. That's wild. This is a kind of a crucial area for price. I mean, we'll see what happens in price here. Do we get the flush to the lows? This is why I'm going to be managing risk very tightly, because we could get the flush to once it gets back into this 5-minute range and starts closing back into the 5-minute range, we could go for those lows. So my risk, I'm going to be managing risk pretty tightly. So just in case, I do not want to be holding it if price wants to go back for those lows. Big boys don't cry. Well, good thing I'm not a big boy. It's going back up. I don't know. It's bouncing off the 15-minute gap. I wanted the 5-minute retrace, but it's not giving it to me. NASDAQ playing with me. Looks like the 15-minute was the better entry. But careful, it closes below the 15-minute, may push lower if it does. Yeah, I mean, we have the 5-minute there, so if it closes below the 15-minute, that's why I said, like, if I do take an entry off the 5-minute, if it does close below the 15-minute, closes below the 5-minute, it starts to kind of look ugly for, you know. And we're going to be closing into the 5-minute opening range. We could start dumping for those lows. So if I was to kind of get in here in this 5-minute, my stop would be, you know, my stop would be kind of like below these lows. I would want to have a stop, because if we get below those lows, I mean, we could flush to the lows. I just wouldn't want to hold that. I'd rather be out of the trade than. But it looks like I'm not getting the trade. I was looking for this bounce here, but this is kind of the bounce I was looking for. But I was hoping for a deeper pullback into the 5-minute bounce. Man. That's the hardest part, is when you're literally waiting for a trade. You get what you want, but it just doesn't give you the entry you wanted. Made 700 today. Nice, nice. Now the hardest part is protecting it. Making it is hard, but you know, it's not as hard as protecting your profits and not giving it back to the market. Retracement maybe to go lower, possibly. Yeah. I mean, if it closes below the 15-minute and 5-minute, it starts to kind of get ugly for the you know, it's probably gonna want to go for these lows if it closes below the 15 and 5. So pretty much 15 is right. I don't have the 15 marked on this chart, but 15-minute is right here above this 5-minute. So once it closes below here, it starts to kind of get ugly. Is this strategy applied to trading in general? What do you mean? Ugh, man, I am. Should we go for short? I can't tell you what to trade. I mean, you have to have a strategy and trade on your own. I can't. Everyone has different strategies, so there's not one rule of the market where one thing is the correct thing to do. It just depends on what your strategy is, because different strategies have different win rates, have different times of the market, different entries, different exits. So it's like, you know, somebody's strategy was to go short here. You know, somebody's strategy was to go long here. So it just depends on the person that went short didn't necessarily go long here. Like, both those people were right in their own ways. So let's full port 15 minutes on 5x if favor. If you have the money to blow, then by all means. I mean, accounts are cheap right now. I don't really have the money to be blowing like that, sadly. I wish I did have the money to blow. Then I would just I could be one of those TikTok traders who just goes full port, on every account and then says, I made $20,000 today. I could be one of those TikTok traders who, you know, I made $20,000 today, but I'm still living in my mom's basement. Amazing how he still made $20,000 in one day, but he got drapes from freaking who knows? God knows how old those drapes are. You would think somebody making $20,000 in one day could like freaking, you know, he could afford a penthouse. But for some reason, these people that are making thousands of dollars a day, bruh, they're still living in this dark, dusty room. Like, if you're, in my eyes, if you're claiming to be like making this crazy money and you're not at least living in some nice apartment, bro, don't say you're making crazy money. Yeah, 15 cons is $300 a point. It's freaking wild. That's big boy status right there. That's takes a lot of cojones and deep pockets. I'm just starting up. Yeah, if you're just starting, you want to be very risk off. Your goal when you just start trading, your goal necessarily is not even to make money when you start trading. Your goal is to be break even. That's your goal in trading. To lose as little money as possible. Because in the beginning, everybody loses money. So the ideal part to do would be sim trade and then figure out a strategy, prove yourself in sim trading, then move to an evaluation, pass the evaluation, prop firm, start getting payouts. That's the ideal thing to do, right? I mean, somebody can go straight to prop firms as long as you manage risk correctly and you make that prop firm account last as long as you can, right? Like, for example, if you blow one prop firm, you just started trading, if you manage risk correctly and you blow one account a month, right? Like, accounts today are 17 bucks, 90% off, but even if they go back to 80% off, right? 33 bucks an account, like, blowing one account a month is not going to hurt somebody, but they're going to learn a lot in the process. Made $400 today. I'm out. Have a nice day. You too. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. How much accounts have you blown before getting it? I've blown a decent amount of evaluation accounts. A decent amount. It was all when I was starting to learn. When I was still learning, I was like, obviously you blow a lot of accounts. Oh crap. Let me see. I'm like kind of talking, seeing if we can get an entry here. Let's see what happens here. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you. You go aggressive in evals? No, not like other traders. With evals, I typically allow myself like 5 losing trades in a row before I blow an account. Some people try to pass in a day. I tried to like actually take it easy. I mean, there's no reason to pass in a day. So I'm typically like pretty, you know. But it all depends on your strategy. Like with my strategy, I can allow myself 5 losing trades in a row. That's a lot of losing trades for me. So for somebody obviously with a lower win rate, they have to allow more losing trades. It tapped into the gap, but not really deep enough. Yeah, this NQ futures. NASDAQ! Oh my gosh. Crap. Need to. Kind of want to take this trade, but I also kind of have to go. Man. far, not really giving me what I want. Come on, NASDAQ. Tapped into that gap. Freaking barely wicked into it. Look at that. Look at that wick into it. Filled the imbalance, but how are you supposed to, like, unless you have your entry in the beginning. I'm waiting for like the 50% mark at least to get filled and then start showing. Yeah, this NASDAQ. NQ. Well, I'm on the MNQ chart, but yeah, NASDAQ futures. There's a lot of support down here, right here. This area has a lot of support. So, as you could see. We're getting a pretty bullish move on the 5-minute chart, but freaking how much maximum contracts you do in evals? Well, it just depends on how much risk you're willing. That's the thing. It depends on how much risk you're willing to take. That's why you see these blocks I have on my chart. They're 10-point increments, so I can calculate risk very fast. I can just count. For example, you got to determine how much you're willing to risk. It all depends on your strategy. If you're willing to risk, for example, let's say you're willing to risk $400 per trade, right? Like you have these 10-point increments. And if I was to get in, say, right here, right, I would count 10 points. So if my stop is below the lows or whatever, I would do, right, say 10, 20, let's say 30, 40, 50. You just count how many points you're willing to risk and multiply by how many contracts, right? Because I know this is, you know, every 10 points is $20. So every box is essentially with 1 micro is a $20 risk. So if you get in right there, it's 20. At the lows, that's a $40 risk if you got in right there. So you'd multiply 40 by X amount of contracts to get you to that $400 risk. You know, and that's kind of how I calculate risk. But it all depends on your strategy. There's not a specific risk that you can take. Like some people kind of, you know, like I said, I allow myself typically 5 losing trades in a row before I blow an account. But that's because it's just a risk I allow myself based on the strategy. Somebody else with a lower win rate has to allow more risk, more drawdown, because he goes for bigger moves. Man. It's leaving without me. My risk tolerance is that amount of the first ever person discovering and buying Bitcoin back in 2009. After blowing my first eval account after reset today, I'm up 630. Nice. Nice. Now just manage risk. Be very picky with your that's almost the goal of trading. If you actually look at very like profitable traders, what you'll notice is a lot of them are very patient. Like some of the most profitable traders are some of the pickiest traders out there. That's why they're so profitable, because they're so picky with their trades. Oh, on Friday? It's a good way to start the week, for sure. All right, let's see what happens here. Tap it deeper into that gap. Thank you for the follow. I'm sad the first strategy didn't work out today. This first strategy I was looking for, but I didn't take the trade at all. But sadly, the setup wasn't there, so stayed out of it, but maybe tomorrow. That's the cool thing about the market. If you miss an entry, if you don't really get the trades you want, guess what? The market opens up tomorrow again with whole new price action, all new levels, all new. What does S3 mean in your fair value? That's a pivot point. So these pivot points are that's like an indicator. I don't know how it calculates these pivot points, but it calculates it in a way that when a pivot point aligns with a certain area, it's like, look at this. You see this S2 up here? Look at that. Look at the rejection off, right? Pretty much rejected off that that pivot point right there. So when a pivot point aligns with a specific area, that's just an extra level of confluence. So we have another pivot point. I don't know what the S2, S3 means. Maybe it's support 2, 3, I don't know, but the fact of these pivot points do hold, they hold a lot of weight in the market because I don't know how it calculates it, but it calculates it somehow. It's an indicator. Ugh. So I don't want to just buy at the 50%. What I'm kind of looking for is possibly a tap into this 50% in some kind of a gap to get inversed for me to kind of take an entry off of. Right? I don't want to just blindly buy just because it's tapping into the gap. Like I kind of want it to confirm, right, that it's moving back up, because it could, you know, tap into the 50% mark and it could just blow right past it like there's no tomorrow, and then, you know, you end up getting stopped out versus kind of waiting for it to tap into it and then possibly getting an entry off that. What's the name of the indicator? It's called pivot points. So it's like PIVIOT points, something like that. It takes the original pivot points and uses standard deviation to get the... Oh, okay. Is that how it does it? Yeah, I never looked into like the how it does it, but I just know it works very well. Like, and it's not meant to, like, I don't use it, like I said, I don't use it to take trades off of. Like, look at the bounce it's having right now at that pivot point. Like, I don't use it to take trades off of just because it's at the pivot point. Doesn't mean you should go long or whatever, or go short, but it is a cool indicator to have when it aligns with something you're already looking at, right? Where do you get the pivot points? I mean, you could search up in the indicators. NinjaTrader has it. A lot of platforms have it. You just have to go into the indicators and then just search up pivot points and you'll see it. And I use the whatever the standard, like the stock settings are. I don't change any settings. But it's a free indicator. It's not something that you pay for. Yeah, it could be different. Different platforms can have different names for it, but maybe it's abbreviated on some platform. I don't know, but it's called pivot points. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Once it retests fair value, I want to take a long if it makes an engulfing after this fair value gap. Yeah, that's like the idea is you want a confirmation, right? You kind of want some kind of confirmation to go long, not just kind of, not enter just because it's entering the gap, but you want some form of confirmation that it wants to go back up. Because see, if I would have entered at the 50% mark, I would be like immediately in drawdown right now. So I'm waiting for a possible confirmation. We'll see. If it starts closing below this gap, it's kind of starts to look ugly for the... This 5-minute range has to kind of hold. If it starts closing inside this 5-minute range, we could go for those lows. So, like, I would, if I was to take a long, I would have to have my stop pretty tight. Just tight, just because I don't want to flush down to those lows and be caught in that huge flush, right? Now we have kind of, if you look on the 1 minute, right? We have, there's a 1 minute gap, very tiny 1 minute gap inside, but see what happens. If it could kind of start showing maybe signs of strength, right? Then I could potentially have a very tight risk. If the trade doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't really care, but you know. All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, it's called pivots in Ninja? Okay. There's a resistance here, so kind of gotta be careful also. Like price could move up and reject there, so that's why you kind of sizing, kind of having light size just in case if I do take an entry and it rejects off there. I mean, my risk is it's not an A plus setup, so because of that, I would take lighter size. But so far, it's not showing that it wants to start moving back up. Still, now if it starts closing back below this 5 minute gap, it's when's the next 5 minute candle? If it's let me see. Right now it's what? 20, so 25. So we got 5 minutes left for that next 5 minute candle, but we just had a new 5 minute candle open. We haven't made new highs. Yeah, you got to be careful. If I do enter, it's going to be light risk, just, you know. So that's the thing. If you enter a trade, you got to be fine with taking a loss. You almost got to be in the mindset of just accepting the loss, even though, you know, you don't know the outcome. So if you've already accepted the loss when you take a trade, then when you do take a loss, it doesn't affect you really, because, you know, you're sized accordingly. You're not really, you know, you're not emotional in a sense of, it is what it is. Starting to get some form of buying pressure starting to step in, but see if the buying pressure can actually hold up. Apex 50 can't like 2 hours ago with Tradeovate. Where do I find the login? Have you haven't, you have to go through the steps. Make sure on Apex's account, if this is your first time getting accounts, there's certain steps you have to follow to actually you buy those accounts, and you have to link those accounts to Tradeovate. There's a certain way. I don't have Tradeovate. I have NinjaTrade. I have RTrader. So but there are certain steps to like put those accounts onto Tradeovate and actually trade them. But they should give you, there should be like a detailed step-by-step instruction of how to set everything up. And then once you get everything set up, next time you get accounts, it's going to be very easy. Then it just automatically, you know. We're rejecting, so we're not really even closing above this very tiny gap. Their value gap on the 5 minutes holding long. I mean, it's not really, it's at the bottom of it. It's not really holding long yet. It's not closing. Now, if we get a 5 minute closure below this 5 minute gap, then it starts to kind of look ugly, right? For the, I mean, it's not a good place to be in. We got 3 minutes left until that 5 minute candle opens. So it's still holding, right? You could see it's still holding, but yeah, you should get an email too. When you registered, when you bought accounts, you should get emails. And here's another, if you do end up blowing accounts, make sure you cancel. Make sure you delete those accounts, because if you blow an account and you don't delete it, they could recharge you for a month. Like your monthly subscription can renew even though you've blown your accounts. So make sure you always delete that subscription when you blow accounts, and then just rebuy different accounts. All right, Apex. I mean, it's Apex. NASDAQ We're still holding. I'm looking at, man. See what happens here. It happened to me with my funded futures. Charge me. Yeah, you got to be careful. That's like one of the first things I do. Is if I blow an evaluation, that's like one of the first things I do is I go and delete the subscription, because I will forget if I don't. Because you could say, oh, I'm going to do it later, and then later comes along, and then you look on your freaking statement and you see you've been charged. Alright, let's see. Can we get some bullishness out of this or not? It's not even it's having trouble closing even above this very tiny gap. If we get some bullishness out of this, I'd potentially take a long for a a stop below the lows of this kind of candle, like a stop below there, just in case it starts dumping on me. I'd just get out. I'm only risking two micros, so very smaller risk, but the risk to reward is, I mean, I don't mind it, just in case if we... We're bouncing off that 5-minute range too, right? Said a lot of 5-minute range paired with that bullish gap. Let's see, I don't mind it. I mean, look how hard it is for price to close above this tiny gap. We're just not getting the buying pressure off this gap that we want. What up? What up? Right now I'm on the 1-minute time frame, but these this gap is marked off the 5-minute. Let's see. See how this 1-minute candle closes. I'm not in yet. I'm still waiting for a little more confirmation. See if we can get it. It's not in yet. If this can close above this gap, I'll potentially get into 20 seconds left. It's having trouble closing even above this 1-minute gap, which that's why I'm kind of like, it's very oversold. There should be a lot of, like, in my eyes, there should be a lot of buying pressure stepping in at this area. There's a lot of support. So, see if bulls can actually step in here. Bro, that's wild. Look how much trouble it's having closing above this bullish gap, like inversing. It's having so much trouble inversing this 1-minute. It's wild. I mean, I don't mind it doing this because if it's almost starting to form some kind of a structure, right? So if it can break that structure, I mean, we could shoot up to this top right here. And look at the risk to reward that just gives me. That's why I'm willing to go light size. I mean, just in case it ends up working out, then that risk to reward makes sense for me. It's almost like a, right? It would be 10, 20, 30, 40. Like a 40-point risk for a way more. Let me see on. All right, I'm gonna give this a try. We'll see. I'm gonna have my stop below the lows here, just in case we start flushing. I don't even want to be in it. And then my TP was gonna be at the highs here. So good risk to reward. See if it works out. If it works out, it works out. If not, then whatever. I'm not heavily sized in, but it makes sense why price could want to bounce off of here. they gotta buy all the way up. Yeah, I mean, it's we do have some buying pressure stepping in, but you know, it's see what happens. Like in my mind, I've already I accept the loss, so I don't get emotional if this stops me out. This isn't really my and that's the goal. You gotta be sized in accordingly per trade, so you don't get emotional if it stops you out. It is what it is. I mean, it's part of trading. If you're gonna get emotional every time you get stopped out, then it's a nasty spiral that you don't want to be caught in. Bookmap neutral. Yeah, this is a tough area. I mean, we could get a bounce, or if we start closing, that's why I kind of have a tight stop. If we start closing below this 5 minute, starts to kind of look ugly. If we start closing below that 5 minute, we could go for those lows. So that's why I'm kind of very, I need tighter risk just in case. I mean, I'm not willing to hold for those lows, that's for sure. What up, what up? How you doing? The question is, are we gonna get the buying pressure we need to push it back up, or if it closes back, and it's gonna be closing back in that 5 minute range, which is also gonna look, it starts to look ugly for bulls, which is me. So far, we're not getting the buying pressure we want. It's not giving it to me. Why? Why? Like, the safest stop would be the lows, but once it closes below, I don't like it. So we just had a 5 minute candle, right? Is that 5 minute candle open? Get out of here, you spammers. You spammers. $11.35 is the next. Okay. So see, they're trying. You can see that there's support down here. They're trying to push it up, but the question is, do we have enough momentum to keep pushing it up? Or are bears gonna step in heavily? But once we start getting a closure below this 5 minute gap, it starts to look a little ugly. Yelp. You gotta yell. Is that? I'm not sized in heavy enough to be yelling at it. My normal risk is gonna be like $400 on this trade. So if I lose like $120 or whatever on this trade, I make it back plus like 4x on a regular trade. Oh, those bastards are, what's it called? That's illegal. How are they doing that? Market, what is it called? Spoofing? That's illegal. When people keep flashing orders like that, you're not allowed to put like heavy orders on the book like that and then just remove them as soon as price if price goes to your level, and they just remove it. It's called market spoofing. You can get in, like, obviously, like, it has to be a live account, but people, I've seen that on Bookmap. When I had Bookmap, I've seen people do that, and I'm like, bro, that's illegal. How are they doing that? You can't just be like... Alright. Come on, NASDAQ. Let's go. Are we gonna push out of this gap or not? I probably should have waited for a closure back above the gap to enter long. That's what I kind of, that's what I realized I should have done. I should have waited for a closure above that gap. Crap. It's all right. I think we could be going for those lows. Freaking A. That sucks. We could be wanting those lows, which is fine. It is what it is. Take me out already. Do it. Confirmation is key. Yeah, I kind of went in on the inverse of that 1 minute, but a better confirmation would have been the closure above the gap. What I realized. I don't know why I didn't see that. It's all right. All right. There it is. They're going for the lows. They're going for those lows. All right, let's see. I actually gotta go. Freaking A. I have an appointment at 11:30 and it's 11:35. Holy. How much you lose? Oh, I barely lost anything. I lost $170. But my normal risk on the trade that I'm gonna make per trade on these is $400. So losing 170 when you're gonna make 400 is not. You know, it's a very small risk. It's a small loss. Now that we're in this 5 minute, right? It starts to we're probably gonna want to go for these lows. We're back in that 5 minute range, opening 5 minute range. This is actually kind of the strategy I was looking for in the beginning, but didn't get it. So when we pop back into the 5 minute, first fair value gap. So like take an entry short, possibly. Like a short entry for those lows could not be a bad Should I do it? Let's see. Let me see if there's this. Let me try this. I'm willing to give it a try. Trying to see if. Oh, come on. Oh. Come on. Bruh. Oh, come on. Fill me. Fill me. Pause. I would have full ported right after out of pure tilt. Yeah, not a good idea to go on tilt. I want to go short just because I like this setup. I don't mind it. also. It's we're back in the 5-minute range, so I really think we're gonna go for, but we're probably gonna go for those lows. In my eyes, there's a high likelihood we could go for those lows, so that's why I'm kind of willing to, you know, say 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, say 50 point risk. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. A little better than a 1-to-1 risk to reward. But it didn't fill me. The lows, yeah, I think it's going for those lows. That's why I kind of want to freaking A, it didn't fill me. I wanted this order short to go for those lows. And this is kind of my strategy, what I was looking for in the morning. That I was earlier this morning I was saying where I back tested it and it's been like winning trades for the past 12 days. Not one losing trade in the past 12 days is this strategy right here. So the idea is, and this is kind of what I was looking for here, right? I was looking for price to close outside of the 5-minute range, and then close back inside with a leaving back like a bearish fair value gap to retrace into to go back to those lows. So this is exactly the strategy I was looking for this morning, but bro, look, it almost filled me, dude. Look at that. It almost, oh, freaking, that sucks. Is it gonna allow me to get into this trade, or is it just gonna move? Once it takes out these lows, I'm gonna cancel my order. Bookmap $90 subscription, crazy expensive for it, but can trade without it. I used to have Bookmap. I mean, it is helpful, but like I don't really need it in a sense of like I know levels like down here. There's gonna be orders sitting down here. Like I can assume that without having really Bookmap, but it does help when you see those like orders on the book. It gives you that extra level of kind of confirmation for your trade. Like, okay, I'm going short, right? There's a lot of orders down there that want to be filled, so it just gives me that extra level of confirmation. But yeah, $90 is a little steep for what it is. Like technically you can use level 2. If you have level 2, you can use level 2 instead of Bookmap, but Bookmap just gives you the heat wave. It just makes it a little more easier to read. Versus level 2, you kind of have to, it's a little more difficult. But level 2 is for like, it's not, you don't have to pay for it. So once we take out these lows, I'm gonna cancel my trade and oh, NASDAQ. Fill me. Pause. Fill me. Give me the entry. Do not leave without me, please. So appointment canceled. I guess I'm gonna be late. I mean, it's an appointment, but it's an inspection. It's not like a hard set. I said I was gonna be there around 11:30, but it's 11:40. I'm still gonna go after. I just want this. I want this. I kind of want, and I want to see if this ends up working out the way I anticipate. Because this is the strategy that I was saying that I really liked. Man, it's not giving me. Up 700, nice. That's a good Tuesday. Go get yourself some Chipotle. And you can get guac today. Dang. Is it gonna leave without me and not give me in? Oh, you traded yesterday? I didn't trade yesterday. I figured it's gonna be slow. I typically don't trade on holidays. Price action, sometimes it's decent. Like sometimes you get decent price action, but sometimes it's just not the best. So not good. Blue 5 funds. Oh man. Yeah, it's gotta start over, and that sucks. Asia said let's dump it yesterday. Oh my gosh, just go somewhere. You're freaking kidding me, man. Yeah, I'm on the 1 minute. It's the 1 minute chart. Gosh. Like, I'm kind of like debating on, I really have to go. I really have to go. Blew my funded last week. I was so close to my 3K goal. I just sat out there the rest of the week. Wait, you were that close and you just blew it? What, revenge trading or? Either revenge trading or you were way too heavy sized in. Or you didn't take a loss, or you didn't like manage risk. I've seen that, like, yes, I didn't think about the drawdown. Yeah, you gotta it's the biggest thing. I've seen that happen a lot to people where they're so close, and because they're so close, either this is what happens: they're so close to a payout or hitting a certain target that they try to take a trade, one that's not even according to their strategy, but they size in heavy just to make that little bit of money to get that payout, and then price ends up dropping and they never, they never take a loss and they end up blowing the account, although they were, I've seen that happen a lot, so that's why you kind of always just want to follow your strategy. No matter if you're $1 away from getting from passing or getting a payout, if you're, you just keep trading. And just continue doing what you're doing. Whatever got you to that level, just continue doing that and managing risk. I've noticed that in myself when I started to trade. In the beginning of my accounts, I would go on this winning streak. And then as I get more into profit, I start taking dumber trades because I feel like I'm in profit and I'm able to just take losses. Like, I don't care. Oh, I'm in profit X amount. I could take this. Whatever. I'll take this trade. Or whatever. I'll take this trade. And then you end up giving so much of your profit away. Versus if you would have just stuck to how you were in the beginning the whole way through, then you would be fine. But it's just your psychology ends up changing. The more profit you get into, the harder it is to keep that profit because you feel like you're able to take, even dumber trades because, oh, I have all this profit to kind of play with. But that profit can disappear very fast if you take dumb trades. Like today, trying to trade against the trend. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. Man, I like this. I'm not mad because if this strategy works out, this is just another day that it proves that this strategy worked. I just didn't... I guess I should have had my entry at the beginning of the gap. I kind of placed my entry a little late at the 50% mark, but if I would have had it at the beginning of the gap just to give me that best. Like if this ends up playing out, this is a W day. I'm happy today if this plays out, because this just confirms it that I maybe even I'll even maybe I should go live this go live. Maybe I'll go live this afternoon if I have time, maybe, and kind of go through like back testing that strategy and show you how it works, how well it works. It freaking, I was surprised. I found it by accident, to be honest. This strategy, I kind of found it by accident because I was looking at someone else's strategy and he was doing the opposite. And I kind of started looking. I'm like, dude, every time it closes back in this range, it typically goes for the next liquidity target. And then I started back testing and I'm like, holy crap, back tested 12 days. Either I didn't get a trade at all that day or it ended up being a winning day for the past freaking 12 days. Obviously, that's not enough back testing, but I don't have a software to do the back testing. But look at that. Going for... It retested the 15-minute fair value gap that was above the 5-minute, then inversed it and went lower. Yeah, exactly. And I said, right, that's why I kind of had... on the long, I had a very tight stop because it said... Once it inverses the 15 in, once it inverses the 5-minute is when it really starts to get ugly, right? Because you're thinking once it inverses the 5-minute and the 15, we're going to go probably for the next liquidity down lower. And that's exactly what it did, right? As soon as we inversed it, we started to flush very hard. And that's just managing risk, right? Like, you don't want to have that much more risk on the table. I mean, you want to just get out if you're willing to, if you were long. All right, I think I'm gonna cancel my order at this point. We're going for those lows. Man, it's wild. A group of people working are really good into order flow. Yeah, order flow is a big, it's an important thing to know, or it's a good thing to know. What's the apex consistency rule? You can't make, they have a 30% consistency rule. You can't make more than 30% of your total profits in a single day, right? So the goal of the consistency rule is not to restrict you. It's so that you don't have like an insane profit in one day and just get a payout, right? They want consistency in your, you know, they want winning trade and whatever level you are, they want consistent sizing. So 30%, so whatever your total profits are, you start off and you're building your account. You can't have, you know, 30% of your total profits to be in one single trade. All right, well, we're going for those lows, so I'm gonna cancel my order. So I think I'll actually, if I have time this afternoon, if I'm not too busy, or maybe this at night, we'll see. But I'll probably try to hop on and kind of go through the strategy and show you guys how, actually like how well it's been working. All right, I gotta go. It's already 12 o'clock, so I gotta go to that appointment. So, man, it hasn't wicked it out yet. But it'll probably take out that low. Let me see. All right, so that's that. I'll be back. Do you journal your trades? No, because I mean, I live trade, so it's a little different. So for me, I don't need to journal them. I can just go back through my live. But I used to have a journal. I used to have TradeZella is a good trade journal. You have to pay for it. But TradeZella is a really good journaling platform. Some prop firms also have their own journaling platform. Some popular, I think Tradeify has the journaling platform. So if you use them and you copy trade, technically you can have one of their accounts and then copy trade multiple prop firms and kind of get like a journaling platform included, so you don't have to, or you can manually journal. But yeah, it's a good idea to journal your trades to see what you're doing wrong, because if you don't know what you're doing wrong, you can't improve if you can't see what you're doing wrong and learn from your losing trades. But did you lose? Yeah, I took a very small very small loss. But I'll try to go back on and it wasn't the strategy I was looking for. I just took a long off this last fair value gap. But the actual strategy that that I'm gonna be looking for is this one. But I'll see if I can go long. See if I can go live this afternoon, and I'll kind of go through some days and kind of show you how well it's been working. But I'll probably be back this afternoon. So y'all have a wonderful day. Don't overtrade. Manage your risk. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.